Let's go. Drive shaft broke. You saw that, guys? Hey guys, welcome back. Today we got all of my WPL kits out here. This is the B-1 Military truck, and these are two C14s. Now, the important thing to know about this video is this was a kit model that I built. We're going to go over how different it is and why I think this is actually a great choice if you're someone that's looking to do a little bit of modifications to this and get a pretty good running RC. This one was a ready to run. So in terms of price, these two are cheaper now. At the time of purchase, these were around $27 to $30. They went up in price a little bit recently. The kit is about $35 normally, and of course you have to include all of your own electronics other than the steering servo. Now the first thing I noticed about the difference between the kit right here, the yellow one, and the red one, is this one has a glossy looking body. So this one looks like it was painted. Of course, it's not painted. It's just a glossy plastic on top. This one is a matte type finish. As you can tell, it looks like it was unpainted, but just a molded color. Not bad, but you know what? Before I bought the kit, I thought this was all how they are all supposed to be, because the B1 truck also has a flat type paint finish. But not the end of the world, but this is really nice. Other than that, overall, the body's identical to the kit itself. The next main difference. Now, I've seen a lot of YouTube videos where people talk about this, and they really don't kind of discuss it as well as they should, are the tires. The tires on here are extremely soft. If I compress it like this, look at that. Like, I could squeeze it fully with my hand, just almost no pressure. I actually had to glue the rear tires because any kind of running and the tire comes off of the rim. So the rear two tires are glued. The front two are still pretty much just held on to the wheel on their own. Now these ones, watch this, I'm going to try to squeeze it. It's fairly difficult. I actually have to apply a whole lot of pressure to squeeze it. So the tire compound is much harder. Although the benefit is these are not glued and they don't come off the rim at all. So keep that in mind. Of course, the softer tires you have, the better crawling ability you'll have. And I'll show you guys later what I mean. We're going to take this for a little test run and compare it to this one. Other than that, the suspension is basically the same. They're both very soft. Now, if I do this to the B1 truck, it's rough. So this truck here has a very different, unique suspension compared to the C14 models. So this has one made for a little more weight. So you could actually put some weight in the bed here and drive around with it. The most I've put was about 5 pounds. It didn't break it, but 2.5 pounds is about the limit if you're going to be doing any kind of like obstacle crawling with this. So this has a real truck-like type suspension, and also has metal beam chassis plates running down the middle here, which basically is just a regular truck suspension. So pretty cool design. I also really like the way they mounted the battery. Look at this. Very cool, like an actual hood for the battery pack. Look at that, really nice. In these ones, the battery pack is mounted in the back, kind of in this little luggage box right here. Just take your battery, charge it, you're good to go there. But pretty interesting design here. The next big difference between the trucks and the kit and the RTR version are the motors that they are bundled with. So the ready to run includes a small 130 size motor. You guys can't see it here, but it's in this housing right here where the transmission sits. It doesn't stick out of the housing. Now I'm going to show you a picture here, what I mean compared to the regular kit model, how much longer the motor can is. So the motor in this one is right here. You could tell it sticks out right out of the actual housing. So this is a 180 can size motor, much longer, and it does have a little bit more torque, which is what you want for one of these. Okay, so the best thing when you get the kit model, not only do you get to build it, but you also get to kind of actually understand how the kit is put together. And it's interesting in that regard alone. But you can also use your own electronics. And guess what? You can have proportional steering. So look at this. This is the radio. I bind it to this. Here you go. It's on. Look at that. Proportional steering. Really nice. This is using the stock servo that they included. A regular $5 brushed ESC and a 2S LiPo battery right here. This is the battery I'm running from a WL Toys lithium ion. I'm sorry guys, not lithium polymer, lithium ion. But either way, it's a 2S. But you do have proportional steering, and your throttle response is fantastic. So this is actually a pretty hobby-friendly rig right here. For a small amount of invested dollars, you have the steering servo included with the kit. All you do is supply your own ESC and your own radio system. As you can tell, I'm using the cheapest FlySky system here. I already had this remote, and all I did was bundle a $6 receiver and any LiPo I just had lying around, and you're good to go. So this is really a good way to get into this hobby on the cheap if you just want something cool. It's pretty cool. In terms of complaints, I'll tell you right off the bat, these things all have diff problems. So there is a remedy to it, and actually when I was building it, I did have to disassemble the front and rear diffs and install a small little shim where the bevel gears are. The shim is tiny. I'm going to show it to you. You can barely even see it. It's a tiny little shim. If you guys are interested in this, if you have diffs that are skipping but are not broken, I will do a full video on it. But the problem has been solved, and I no longer have any skipping in the front and rear differentials. A risk you take when purchasing a kit is, of course, some missing parts. Now, if you look at the bottom of this one, you can tell that I have a link here that is clearly not from this RC. So this is an HPI turnbuckle I had from my old HPI Nitro RS4. I just basically trimmed it, adjusted it, and it's exactly the same as the factory link that they included. What happened was I was just missing a link. Now, you know, your only solution here would be to buy a whole other kit. You cannot get these parts separately. You can only purchase main parts. From what I understand, I think just the tires for the C14 body style here. For the trucks, you can purchase the front and rear differentials separately, and you could also purchase the running gear and servos. But all in all, I was able to mock this up, and it works really well. No issues here at all. In terms of servos, if you're looking to install a better one, I did buy a whole bunch of Tower Pro MG90S servos. These are really good cheap servos. They are metal geared and ball bearing driven. But for now, I just have the factory servo that they gave me for free in here, and it seems to be doing the job just fine. Okay, so at this point, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do a little bit of a tug of war. I'm gonna hook it up with this chain. They have spots here in the back, and we're gonna see who can tug it out. So stay tuned, this should be interesting. Round one. Full throttle. Full throttle, guys. That was an interesting match. It looks like the B1 truck is pulling the C14. Let's go again. Full throttle. Dead. Stand still. Almost about the same, guys. Round two, kit on the right, RTR on the left, full throttle, let's go. Drive shaft broke, you saw that, guys? Drive shaft's gone. So at this point, the kit is losing. Look at that, full throttle. But the kit is pulling, it is pulling. So drive shaft popped out, the rear, I'm gonna fix it, and we'll try to do a little bit of a hill run. We are up to the hill climb. We are starting with the C14 all the way to the left. Here we go, full throttle. Barely making it up. But I made it. Okay, let's leave it there. Now we're gonna do the kit. C14 kit. Here we go. So this has really grippy tires, no problem. And of course it has no problem so much that it flips. No problem flipping, that is. Now we're up to the B1 truck. All right, this needs some weight in the back here. Can't make it up the hill. All right, let me put some weight. struggling, stuck, struggling. I can't go anymore. That's it. Got nothing. Take two. Now we only have the two C14s left. I made the hill a little bit steeper. Let's see what we can do. That's it. This one is stuck. Can't go anymore. This is full throttle, guys. That's it. You got nothing. Alright, now it's the kit's turn. Let's see if the kit can do it. No problem. Look at those tires. As long, of course, as you don't stop along the way. Let's go again, guys. Look at that power. I'm barely pressing the throttle. It's just gripping it. Look at that. It's got some power. Let's try it in reverse now. Look at that. Good. Look at that. No problem. Made it all the way. Look at that C14 kit. Those grippy tires really just make it go. Look at that. No issues at all. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that wheel slippage.